disappointed that we came up on the short end there, but I am proud of our team for the way they competed. They just made the last play. You have to give them credit for that. We had difficulty all day slowing down their passing game and covering their receivers. The new guys that they have that came in this season and transferred in certainly make a big difference in their offense. Those guys are good players, hard to cover. And we got to come up with a better plan to try to slow them down a little bit for teams from this point on. I thought that the punt return they got was a big play. It's a nice play. That guy made a few players miss and kind of changed momentum a lot for a little bit. But then we recovered and came back. We just couldn't put a stop together at the end of the game.
Like your red zone defense really, it kept you in it or saved you for most of the day. I don't know what's not happening at the end of the long drive, but overtime maybe you guys got gassed or maybe not.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it became 4-down territory for them. But our red zone defense was good. We weren't very good from 20 to 20. But when we got down in there, we held them field goals, and then at the end, it became 4-down territory for them.
Put this in perspective for me. I know you want to win it, but you also say you're proud of the guys, and you almost, came in here and won.
Well, what you're saying is true, but ultimately, there's no second places. I mentioned in my opening remarks that I'm proud of our team for competing, and I think that they prepared well. I mentioned to them before the game, I thought they handled practice, all the distractions that are involved with a Thanksgiving week and a Bedlam week, maybe better than any team that we've had over the last 7 years, I guess. And so we just came up short. We got to find a way to finish that game and allow them to run the ball in there in the overtime. It's disappointing, but we have to learn from it and get better.
Well, Coach, talk about Clint Chelsea's ability to run the ball. And did he show something in practice during the week? It looked like some of those runs were designed.
Yeah, look, we had some design runs for him, and he's run the ball pretty well for us this season, and he gives us a numbers advantage. We wanted to take advantage of runs whenever we could get them spread out and stop the pass.
After the long touchdown to tie the game, just what was the mood like on the sideline into overtime?
Their touchdown?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think our guys are fine. We went out and we got stopped, and they kicked the field goal. I don't think that was as much of an issue. Now, if you look at the defense that came back out and gave up 2 runs, you would think that they never got over that. Sometimes that can happen. It's a very emotional game. We talked about it. I went over and kind of looked at the players in the face, and I thought they were okay, but I could see where you would feel like that we didn't overcome it because we went out there and just let them run the ball down our throat and score.
Mike, does this feel any different than the trips to Norman since '01?
In which way?
Just the competitiveness of the game.
Well, I think that over the last, I don't know how many years now, that this has been a very competitive game, and I think that our team sees this as a game that if we play well, take care of the football, and try to minimize mistakes, we have a chance to win.
There's a lot of momentum swings in this game, but is there one play that stands out to you, whether it was early in the game or there at the end, that made the biggest difference, you think?
Well, I think what you said is right. There's so many, it'd be hard to pinpoint any of them. We scored some early, and then they scored and kind of got the momentum going back, and then we scored, and then they came down at halftime, right before half and scored, and then we first played second half, we scored. And then they had then we had the punt return, and then we went right back down the field and scored again. So there's so many of them, I don't know that you can actually pinpoint one that was any different than the other.
Joseph Randall, career day with 4 touchdowns. Let's talk about how he performed.
Well, Joseph ran the ball very well. I thought that our running game was good. Overall, I thought that offensively played pretty well. They were able to play some man against us, and at times had an advantage. But for the most part, I thought that our running game was what we would want it to be.
It was shit.
And definitely the biggest start of a young starting career. How do you think Chell handled the pressure based on how you know him? Was he cool? Was he solid?
his demeanor hasn't changed. I thought he played well. That question came up during the week. I felt like that he would play under control and handle the situation to the best of his ability. He missed a pass there late when we were trying to keep the drive alive. He threw the ball down low and we didn't hit it. But other than that, I thought he played very well. He handled the pressure, and I didn't see any difference in his demeanor throughout the game.
What did you do to counter the Belldozer package? It forced 2 fumbles during the game, kind of stuffed them up at times, but then you had the missed tackle that led to the tying touchdown.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. It looked like we had him in the backfield there on the tying touchdown, and then we missed the tackle. And again, he's a big guy, and he's made some guys miss, and he breaks some tackles. But overall, I think our coaches had a good plan. And our guys were physical. Just needed to make one more play.
It's like, do you feel like you maybe let one get away here that seemed like you had control for most of this game? You know, it was close. I mean, you feel like boys just kind of let one get away right there at the end? I mean, they made a couple plays.
Well, the only way I would think that is the final drive. But we never really slowed down their passing game. So I don't know that we had it in control as much. I think most of the time when you feel like you have a game in control is when your defense is forcing some 3 and outs. There wasn't as many 3 and outs in this game for us.
You had so much defensive pressure on the quarterback last week against Tech that you're not getting maybe as much as you wanted to.
We would like to have had more pressure. To be honest with you, what it comes down to is they got 4 guys that are running routes that are good players. And they can get rid of the ball quick and get the ball in their hands. And it's pretty obvious that they've had a lot of success this year throwing passes. And the reason why is they're really good on the perimeter. The quarterback's experienced and makes quick decisions.
So is the plan to keep everything in front? That would go a long way?
Not really.
Okay.
It was to mix it up and try to give them different looks, just like it is in most games.
Mike, hard to find fault with the offense when you score that many points, but after you guys stop them on 4th down, you have a 3 and out, one bad series it seemed like at the game.
Well, that's what I mentioned. Clint had the one pass there that was low that could have put us in maybe a 3rd and short. That's the one time you'd like to get a 1st down, but they end up coming up short.
The only time you were behind was when the game was over. Does that make it any more frustrating?
I don't know. I think when you lose, it's frustrating. You look at it either way. Ultimately, when the clock expires or the overtime expires, you want to be ahead. That's really the only thing that matters. But again, I think our guys competed. They just made the last play. I don't think there's any question that there's a lot of disappointment in the locker room, and I'm very disappointed that we weren't able to finish because we certainly made enough plays to win the game today.